All right, y'all. So the question I'm answering today is, how do I find my purpose? The age-old question. I have so many clients come to me with this question in mind. And the first thing I want to say about this is that you don't find your purpose. It's not out there somewhere waiting for you to stumble upon it. You create it. You find a problem that is worthy of your life, a problem that calls you forth into being who you most want to be, and then you commit yourself to that. And that problem might last you for the rest of your life. That problem might last you 3 years. That problem might last you 6 months. You just want to look for a problem that invites you to step into your core desired ways of being, invites you to be the person that you most want to step into being. And if the problem that you found to commit yourself to does that, then that is your purpose for the time being. Michelle Obama says one of the stupidest things that we can tell children or ask children is, what do you want to be when you grow up? As if one day you just become something and that's it. That's who you are for the rest of your life and it's done. Life is a process of continually becoming. And because we have this notion in our mind that we're supposed to just one day wake up and become something, it always feels like this isn't it. It always feels like, oh, I haven't found my purpose yet. Where is it? And we're missing the point. We're missing that we are fulfilling our purpose in any moment that we are being in alignment with our core desired ways of being. By the way, that's not exactly the Michelle Obama quote, but you get the gist of it. Right? So as humans, we need problems. Problems are actually life-giving to us. Our minds need problems to be able to work to find solutions for. Our being needs problems to be able to expand into. And the bigger the problem, the more we need to expand to become a solution to that problem. We get stuck when we have a problem that's too small, when we have a problem that keeps us focused down here, focused on our little tiny sphere of existence, rather than looking up and looking around at who can I be for the world? How can I be the change that I wish to see in the world, as cliche as that sounds? So how do you find that problem that's actually worthy of your life? Well, the way that I like to think about it is that there are two main criteria. There is what lights you up, what fulfills you, what makes you happiest, what brings you the most joy, and what can you contribute most to the world, and what does the world need most. And when we find that perfect intersection of those two, we have found our passion for the time being. There's a spectrum. On one end of that spectrum are people who are too concerned with finding the thing that just makes them happy, thinking that they're supposed to be flooded with positive emotions and sensations every day, or else they're not fulfilling their passion. And on the other end of the spectrum is people who are too concerned with, well, what does the world need most? How am I going to be most of benefit, no matter how much personal sacrifice it comes with? And my personal belief is that there is this perfect balance point in between those two extremes of the spectrum, where we've found something that we can actually sustainably, happily, healthfully pursue. If we're sacrificing our health or happiness to serve the world, that's not sustainable. We're going to burn out. We're going to shut down. We're going to become resentful. And if we're only focused on our own hedonistic pleasure, I don't think that's sustainable either, because that gets boring. It's not enough of a challenge. It doesn't require for us to expand into what the world needs for us to become. So imagine that you have that Venn diagram, and on one side of the Venn diagram, you write, what does the world need most right now? And which of those things could I be good at providing? Which of those things do I have talents that would be able to contribute to that issue, that problem? And on the other side of the Venn diagram, write, what makes me happy? What things do I most like to do? Do I most like to work with animals? Do I most like to work with children? Do I most like to work with people? Do I like to design? Do I like to find creative solutions? Do I like to speak? Do I like to write? What are the things that bring me joy that I love to do? And then look at the intersection of those two on your Venn diagram and look for something that overlaps both. And then find what could your mission statement be? What could be the problem that you could devote yourself to that would have you wake up in the morning needing to generate, to expand, not from a place of panic, not from a place of fear, not from the belief that you have to get somewhere else in order to be good enough, not from shame, not from guilt, not from any of those red zone, low frequency emotions, but from love, from I get to be a contribution to the world. I get to be of service. From inspiration, from feel good, from joy, from desire to be generous, from desire to be of service. And then give yourself the gift of a problem that is actually worthy of your life. And the moment that you notice that you have outgrown your problem, it's time to get a new problem. Often we resist that feeling of not quite being the person that we want to be yet, or not quite reaching the goal that we want to reach yet. But really, that's what we should always be looking for. We should always have room to grow. Our container should always be one size bigger than us. Our shell should always be a bit bigger so that we can grow into it. So if you are committing yourself to a problem that's like easy for you to be the solution for, it's easy for you to handle, your problem's not big enough. Stretch, grow, find a commitment that would make you uncomfortable. What's the number of lives that you want to change? What's the amount of money that you want to raise for charity? What's the number of volunteers that you want to gather together for creating something that would be of benefit to the world? What is a tangible goal that you can reach, but feels a little bit out of reach? Feels like you really need to grow into it. Okay. And set that as your goal for now. If it feels stressful, if it feels overwhelming and panic inducing, then find a bit smaller of a goal. If it feels boring and too easily accessible, find a bigger goal. Find that sweet spot of a goal and then expand into it. And then as soon as you reach that goal, set a bigger goal. And then as soon as you get there, set a bigger goal. We always want to close the gap so quickly. Like, well, I want to get there now. I want to get there now. But we should always have a gap to expand into. We should crave that feeling of having the bar a little bit out of reach. So we have to keep reaching, so that we get to keep reaching, so that we get to keep stretching and expanding. Okay. So in summary, you do not find your purpose. You find a problem that you deem worthy of your life, and then you create that to be your purpose. There's no right answer. There's no truth to what your objective purpose is. There's no rule book of the universe that has everyone's names and the purpose that they're supposed to find. And if they don't find it, then to hell with them. That's not how it works. You get to say what is worthy of your time and your energy and your life force. You get to say what is worthy of your presence. And only you can discern whether that is a big enough goal for you. There is no objective big enough. There is no objective good enough. It's just, is this requiring for you to stretch? Is this requiring for you to expand into this in the ways that you want to expand? Is this requiring for you to expand in ways that are in alignment with your integrity, in alignment with your core desired ways of being, with the person that you most want to become? And if you found that, then you found your purpose. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback on this, and if this made a difference for you, and I'd love to hear any follow-up questions that you may have. Thanks for listening.